Aloha! Hello, beautiful you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello. All right, my beautiful, darling, sensitive empaths and HSPs. I wanna talk about I I would quite like to do a very to the point and straightforward live today, where I share the knowledge quickly and then I do my meandering and everything later on. So I want to share this because I think it's really, really important, and sometimes people don't realize that they're an empath or they're a HSP, which means highly sensitive person, or that they're a normal sensitive. And it's a superpower, you know. And the reason I want to talk about it is because if you're not aware that you might be, and I'm not a fan of labels, but if you're not aware that you are a sensitive or an empath, you could be experiencing a lot of pain and difficult times. And knowing you're an empath and maybe, paying attention to the kind of tips that I share later, if they resonate, might help you just have, a more beautiful life, a more fun life. A life where you are actually living your full potential, joy, a life of passion, purpose, and prosperity. So, hello, I'm Jerry. And I want to share the tips first, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about, I think, how I discovered I was an empath, but then also, an embarrassing, well, not an embarrassing, but a story which showed me what a flippin' people pleaser I used to be, So, some tips. I kind of imagine and guess that you might be a sensitive if you're watching this. So, yeah. So that you're not suffering and sponging up other people's negative emotions that they don't want to deal with or heal or feel, and so that you thrive, that you have a wonderful life. There's some things that I feel are super important and that have really, really helped me. So I think I've been aware that I was a sensitive for about 20 years and an empath for about 10 years. Okay, and I'm still getting my head around it, but one of the advantages, it's incredible, is that when I'm in a group, when I'm running sessions, or if I'm with clients, that I know what's going on with them. I know what they're feeling, even if they haven't got that clarity, which is quite incredible considering that it's probably only been about 20 years since I've been okay with feeling all of my emotions, rather than blocking them out and denying them. So the tips that I have for you as a beautiful empath, a sensitive person. The first one is, this is something I've only learned recently, and it's to let actions speak louder than words. It's really interesting. Sometimes people say things to me, and as they're saying it, a part of me is going, why are they saying this? Or, it's like it's almost like there's a siren going on, and it's like, wah! This doesn't resonate, or like warning bells. and like, that's cool. It's fine, whatever. sometimes maybe people could be lying, or maybe, they're not even aware that their words aren't in alignment. It's fine. It doesn't kind of bother me. And I think as an empath, definitely as an empath, you know when things don't resonate, and you know when people are lying, and it's like, okay. And I think for me, what now works is just to kind of be present. I don't have to comment or react or anything. I don't even have to respond. I can just be, because actions speak louder than words, When I think in the past of when someone has said something to me and like my warning bells have gone off, and then fast forward a year or 6 months or whatever, and I see what's played out, and it's just beautiful. It's beautiful because I know why when they were speaking it doesn't resonate, And I think that's one of the beautiful things about being a sensitive and an empath, is that the more that you embrace these gifts, the more wise you become, and the more you're able to dance with these gifts, the more you're able to embrace them, So actions speak louder than words. That's the first thing. And another thing I've also learned recently, linking in with that, is that I don't need to trust people. I don't need to trust my intuition. You can just let it all be. Let it all be on the table of life, With my intuition, I get guidance. And I don't have to polarize that it's trusted or not trusted, or right or wrong. I just go with it. And life allows it to become true or not, It's like very often I see people stuck in procrastination around their life purpose. And it's like, well, you're only going to know if you start taking the steps. Because otherwise you're stuck in, what's that phrase? Anyway, you're just going to be stuck in, oh my God, I've got to take a step. It's got to be the right step. No, just fucking take action. Just take action, So you don't necessarily have to trust people. And you also don't need to be trusted either. I used to get really offended if people didn't trust me. It's like, oh, sod it. It doesn't matter. Why should it matter? And it's really interesting. You might totally disagree with me around the trust thing, and that's fine. When I heard it first, when I heard, let that go, let trust go, I was like, oh, but trust is really important and blah, blah, blah. But actually, why does it have to be such a big thing? Yeah, of course, if you're in a relationship with someone, if it's a love relationship, then, you would hope that there's a foundation of trust there, that you don't even have to worry about it or, question it. And if you're tuned in, you're going to know whether someone's words are true and whether their actions align with their words. You see it again, it comes back to this whole action speaking louder than words. So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is linked in with that, and it's about definitions. How are you defining others? They are, she is, he is. How are you defining the world? What kind of a world do you think it is? Because I have a question for you. Is your perception of the world serving you? And is your perception of others serving you? Or would it serve you to have a different definition of people? That they are beautiful, that they are friendly, that they're exciting, that they're loving, you know. And this doesn't mean putting your head in the sand and being an ostrich, you know, because, you know, if you're defining the world or other people as something beautiful and positive, you're going to attract those kind of people into your life. And polarize the people that you don't want in your life, so you have more room for the beautiful people. You know, the people that lift you up, the people that inspire you, you know, your tribe, people that have your back, and people that want you to succeed and to fly, you know. So that's the first one. Actions speak louder than words. Secondly, definitions. How are you defining the world and others? And then finally, in no sense. In no sense. Be like a child. Be in innocence. Because with all, even what I shared, it doesn't matter. If you allow yourself to be in a space of not knowing and not flipping having to know, especially with all the craziness that's going on in this world, because everyone is so sure that they have the right view and that this is what's happening and this is what's going to happen. No. Be like a child. Be in innocence. Surrender. Surrender back into childlike awe and wonder. Observe the beauty of nature. Observe the beauty of the world, of the beauty of other people, the beauty of you, the beauty of the mystery. Because when you surrender into that place, the power of wow. Oh, no. The power of now. The power of wow. World of wonder. When you surrender back into that place, guess what happens? You are collapsing probabilities into realities that your heart would love so that they can come to you. Let me know if that resonates. Let me know if that rings. So, how are you going to know if you're an empath or a sensitive? Or maybe even, well, I was going to say, or maybe some other tips. The first thing that really helped me when I discovered that I was a sensitive was to have, and this was like 20 years ago, and it was news to me, was to have at least 30 minutes a day just to myself. And I have a lot more than that now, and I love it. I love it so much. But like at the time, I was living with someone, I was engaged, and weirdly enough, just carving out that time was actually quite a lot for me, you know. And I remember once I was on a holiday in Goa and I had just met this new crowd of amazing people. It was incredible. Like, you know, we were doing yoga and hanging out on the beach and it was incredible. It was an amazing time. And I'd only just realized that I was a HSP, a highly sensitive person. And I remember, I'd only known these people a few days. And I remember one day I was in my little gorgeous house and I didn't want to go out and meet them. But we had a kind of a, you know, there'd been a routine that had just organically developed, you know. And I remember going through a really difficult time because I thought, my God, I can't not go, you know. And, you know, there was no commitment. They weren't like long-term friends or anything. And I just really needed that time for me. And I remember it. I don't know why, but I remember it as a real defining moment where I got to see how I could put people that like weren't even super close friends or long-term friends or, you know, like no definite arrangement with them, but how I could put like their needs above my own, you know. That was huge. That was huge for me. And it was a real game changer. And I was really grateful for the fact that I journal. I was able to journal about it and get real clarity on it. But I think that a lot of sensitives and empaths, you know, have those experiences where you're suddenly getting to know yourself, and you're getting to know yourself on a new level as a totally different person. Like maybe not that hard person who, was maybe had a full-on career. Like I used to be a TV producer, so that was like hard, and then I was able to come into alignment with who I really was, and have boundaries, and know that it's okay to put me first, So how are you going to know that you're an empath or a sensitive? Well, empaths, I think one of the key things is that they can very often, they walk into a room and sometimes they can't distinguish between the emotions of other people in the room and their own. They can sponge up other people's emotions, and generally they'll have started when they were children. If their parents are arguing, then they'll have sponged up those negative emotions because unfortunately the parents didn't want to deal with them. So by the time that empath is an adult, they're a PhD. They've got a PhD in flipping, being an empath, being a healer, being a coach, being a teacher. But as you become an empowered empath, and send me a message if you want more information on that, because it can be really easy. But when you're an empowered empath, you can actually know what other people are feeling without having to feel them in your own body, and without it harming you or affecting you. And I think sensitive people, they're just very highly attuned. I think it's Dr. Judith Orloff who called empaths highly calibrated lie detectors, which I love. And that's something that can cause empaths and sensitive a lot of grief, a lot of hardship, is when they see the world or they see others, and they know that there's a lack of alignment, or they're lying or whatever, and you're like, why do people have to be like that? Why does the world need to be like that? And it can be really hurtful, and painful. And this is why I wanted to share these 3 tips today, because, from my own experience, I don't want to go into a story right now, but just like in the last few days, I've been using these tools, but also writing letters to people who, there might have been drama going or whatever. So there's that really great shamanic tool of writing a letter to them, getting all the anger, the pain, the sadness, the grief, whatever emotions, getting it all out as you write, and then either tear it or burn it. Tear it up or burn it. So just before I finish, actions speak louder than words, the first thing. And the second thing is to just check in and look at how you're defining the world or others, because that's how they're going to appear to you, And sometimes people might be arses or whatever, But then the third step is for me the key. It's like surrender. Surrender into innocence. What would you love? Be like a child. Be in the moment. The power of wow. Allow the wonder of nature, the mystery to emerge from you and unfold in your life. Allow yourself to be in the not knowing, because we never know. And we are creating what we're focusing on as well. All right, I hope that resonated. I hope you got something from that. And, let me know in the comments what you took away from this. All right, I love you so much. Have an amazing rest of day and week. And I will see you next time. Aloha, bye now.